I let a footlong fuck me for way too long, and I don't want the same thing to happen to you. Now, when I first started working, making a bit of coin as a young fella, I'd go off to Subway, buy me footlong and think, what a great lunch, what great value. Then I'd go out for dinner, steak, $50. You're fucking kidding me. Who's paying $50 for a steak? You could have 2.5 footlongs for that. Someone would take me out for lunch. Would you like this sandwich, mate? It's $12. This thing's tiny compared to a footlong. Who the fuck wants to pay for that? People look at me, what's wrong with this guy? Does this guy work for Subway or something? Jeepers. I wasn't even working there. I was just pricing everything in my head and what a Subway footlong is worth. I thought that was the ultimate value. Now, a number of you out there, you'll be doing the same thing. You might not even realize you do it. You might compare something that you want to buy to, how many hours of work that's going to be. And unfortunately for a lot of us, we'll only ever earn per hour, so we don't understand value and what other amounts of money we could bring in that aren't tied to an hour. So we will bring everything back to the number of hours it takes to work to pay for that thing. So what I had to start doing is understanding, actually I'm thinking pretty small and I'm thinking scarcity, I'm not thinking abundance, because I'd see people cruising around these European cars, jet ski on the back. I'd think, fuck, do you know how many footlongs you could have with the petrol you're about to blow in that shitty jet ski you've got there, you bloody Sea-Doo? Do you know how many fucking Subways you could have? But they were making sense of it, so how were they doing it? I don't know. I was down here, I was still thinking like this. I had no idea. But I had to decide at some stage I've got to let that shit go, because I started getting taken to more things where people would pay for things and they're more expensive, hanging out with different people, or their parents would pay the bill, and I'd think, holy shit, $300 for everyone, and that guy just paid for the whole thing himself. My God, does he know how many footlongs he could have for that? So I had to let go of that at some stage, didn't I? So how can we afford things? We discovered this in a recent video, so go back and watch this. We've got to change our thinking to how could I afford that? How did that person decide, I'll pay the whole bill, $300, no worries? You know, how are they making sense of that? How do they make sense of having a jet ski, of having a bloody tow bar on the back of the car? You know? So secondly, when will you let this go? When are you going to decide at some stage in your life you've got to let go of the how are you pricing whatever it is that you're using in your head as the component? Is it a footlong? Is it the per hour? And when are you going to let that go? Now the other thing, and this is a little bit trickier, and I don't suggest going into debt or doing anything stupid like that, but every now and then I think it's good to go and reset yourself with big purchases. Go and pay for something you ordinarily wouldn't pay for. That's way more expensive than you think. Now pay for that $60 steak. Get that more expensive bottle of wine on the menu. Or just buy something that's a little bit dearer to go, you know what? I can do it. The world didn't end. But come back to this as well. How can I afford it? Don't put it on buy now, pay later. Don't run it on your fucking credit card. Don't do anything stupid. Figure out how you can make the cash to do it. But reset your inner thermostat of what you think is expensive by paying for something that costs more than what your limit is for that. This is a bit of a tricky one, but I hope you can take something from it. Be careful not to let the footlong fuck you for too long.